So a lot of very large companies, a lot of tech companies, they put a lot of money into R&D, research and development. And if I look at it from a country level, I think the best thing that you can really research and invest in is the next generation. So this is young talent. I think across the globe, we see education take on very different forms. Could you share a little bit about your respective geographies, offline and online, in terms of an approach to education and what that would mean for the future of innovation?
Well, the future here in Saudi, in Riyadh, in Leap, when I make around an exhibition, I see a lot of tech, which is they're doing education online. And that is the first step. It's been done during the COVID, a virtual education, but today it's mean we are building the leader of tomorrow. We're building the young generation with different perspective, and we're giving them the red carpet with the tech and innovation and creativity to learn, only if they don't want. And with the smartphone and iPad, you see a lot of apps. I mean, the door is open for anyone who wants to learn, to have a knowledge, but we don't forget there is somehow, somewhere in Africa, far away, where there is no 3G, no electricity, no water, no food, and still is rural places which have to be reviewed and taken in consideration by technology and about the big companies to cover those areas. Humanity needs us, and I say always, technology is brilliant, it's beautiful, it's building the future, but we have always to think about the others people who need boosting, who need help, and especially the kids, the youth, and subjects also about the women. Today, if we talk about education, it's a large competition because curriculum from US, Canada, London, and Middle East, or Arab, or Asia is totally different. We have to combine with technology some strategy and vision and goal to be combined in unity for the humanity straight away to make it easy and flexible for everyone. The youth and the kids need us, and technology is the future, but we need to review where to locate it and when and how, and thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, from an India perspective, of course, there's a lot of focus on education. We're a land of engineers. There's a lot of focus on STEM. I think 10 of our top universities are featured in the top 500, but we have an aspiration of bringing the top 20 in the top 200. You know, we have the IITs, the IISc, the IIMs. There's also a lot of focus on upskilling the younger population on future-ready skills, in terms of Gen AI, data, cybersecurity, deep tech, drone tech, etc. Also, there's the Skills India mission, which is a government initiative, also partnership with the private sector, really enabling many more employable skills. Also, what's very vibrant in India is the focus on youth and entrepreneurship and startups. So most of the engineering colleges, technical universities have these amazing entrepreneurial cells that are literally churning out startups, right? And are also being funded by the government. We're also a country which has more than, I think, 700 million people in the young population bracket of 15 to 35. So of course, EdTech and youth is a huge focus for India, both from an online perspective and an offline perspective, right? And we have a huge focus on K-12, but also I think the technical side of things. And a lot more is happening now in terms of incubating the research labs, deep tech labs in the country. So we become a very strong technical base and pool of talent.
Thank you.
I happen to be in a position to evaluate hundreds of universities around the world in my previous role as China Director for QS World University Ranking for 7 years. So I know the education sector a little bit more. My perception on what's going to happen in the years to come is the education system will become more modular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you have a look on one of the programs initiated by Google in 2020, they have a 3-month online career-ready certificate. And that certificate can be treated as an equivalent of 4-year bachelor degree offered by a university. And there are more than 200 top employers in the United States already accept that. And that certificate, you can do that in your spare time, costs less than $200 US. But you can get, on average, something like 60,000 US graduate level equivalent jobs. So every time when I was talking to top university presidents, government ministers about the trends where industry are not terribly happy with what our university is providing, they are terrified. Because our education is moving so slowly as a result of all the quality controls, regulatory framework, national curricula, which are very rigid. It takes a very long time to change. So I think there is tremendous opportunities for the private sector to come in to really help fast-track that kind of process, to really allow every single one of us, whether we are, K-12 or like technical education or vocational, or it's higher education or lifelong learning, everyone needs to be trained. Because we are talking about 40% of job replacement as a result of AI by World Bank. And in the developing, especially in developed countries, we're talking about 60%. 10 years ago, a lot of reports saying that AI is going to replace lower skilled jobs, but now suddenly we realize that they are perhaps replacing higher skilled jobs a little bit more. And we all see the latest announcement from OpenAI when they have text pumped into high resolution video like Sora. All the investors who are originally planning to put huge investment into the movie studios, into gaming industries, suddenly they withdrew. So that's how quickly things are moving. We need to be really agile and flexible to cater to that kind of major trend on education and re-skills globally.
I think just two more points to add, which is I serve on the National University of Singapore I&E's board. So we talk about this quite a bit, which is actually the emphasis for not just students, but also faculty. It's not just to write good papers, get good results, but also to start companies. So how do you spin off your research into real companies? You get you get admitted not just on the academic grades, but for entrepreneurship activities. Those are now being incorporated and ingrained into the admissions and promotion criteria. So that's one. I think the second point you made was very good, which is the AI sort of changing the way we teach students, right? Used to be the time where you are graded on things you memorize. But no, now ChatGPT has changed the way exams needs to be conducted, and emphasis is more on teamwork and project work. And I think that's going to change the next wave of students starting in university and going to the workforce.
I think I want to add on that. In the future, we should not only teaching our students how to use AI as a tool, and with the advancement of all the robotics, all this kind of brain-computer interface, where we see more and more convergence between human and machine as some kind of more advanced forms moving into the future. We need to also teach our children how to live in harmony with our robotic fellows in the years to come.